Alright, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Yahweh, Achud. That's Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last seconds of time. Kwam Yasha Allah, mighty, mighty Shalom. And this lesson is entitled, To Suffer for the Lord is a Joy. Remember Job. To suffer for the Lord is a joy. Remember Job. Lord willing, this quick hit be edifying. This is from the book of Job, chapter 2, verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and that's Lord in all caps, which is referring to whom the word ignorantly calls God, whose true Hebrew name is Yahweh. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord Yahweh, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord Yahweh, because Satan is a son of God on the left-hand side. The word left means sinister. So Satan is likened unto a son of God on the left-hand side, all right, or an angel of the Lord on the left-hand side. Verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Because Satan is appointed with certain tasks on the left-hand side, all right? But it's all set up by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, just as this specific task from the Lord through Satan was set up to try Job, because the Lord ultimately knew that Job was perfect, all right, and that he would be made perfect, all right, in weakness, okay? Matter of fact, get that real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 12 and 9. And he said unto me, Yahushua speaking, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. And so this was shown in the account with Job being brought low, all right, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua's sake. But ultimately, suffering for the Lord is a joy, man, okay? Because we're suffering for the Lord, okay? We're not suffering for the things of this world, all right? We're looking to be made perfect in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, just as Job was. And as it's going to say down in that chapter, shall we receive good and not evil from Yahweh Shem Yahushua? All right, so a true and proper judge knows good and evil, and that's what we've been set out to do on the planet Earth through this trial and error, all right, through the flesh, through this lower state. It says, Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. Right, we glory in our infirmities, all right? Our strength is made perfect in weakness, because when we're made low, all right, that ultimately shows how much and how far we're going to go for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, all right? Like the scriptures say, give me neither poverty nor riches, all right, but food convenient for me. And that's this word, that's this truth. Verse 3, it says, And the Lord Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feared God our power and eschewed evil, ? And still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. Right, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua knew that Job would be made perfect in that trial, that he was going to pretty much send Satan on an appointment to tempt Job, to try him, to see if Job was going to forsake Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and Job did not, all right? No matter what he was brought through, how low he was brought, all right? Because Job was a very, very rich man, all right? And he was brought low. He was reduced. And that's likened unto us, all right? Because we are likened unto the sons of God in the flesh, but we're reduced to this flesh, all right, this corruptible body. But soon this corruptible must put on incorruptible, this mortal must put on immortality. Verse 4, And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. Verse 5, But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. So Satan said, if you bring him low, all right, strike him with different infirmities, okay, weaknesses, he's going to curse you. But the Lord already had set it up through the Spirit that Job wasn't going to go off, man. All right? And this is an example for us, all right? Because to suffer for Yahweh Shem Yahushua is a joy, man. We got to remember accounts like these, all right, when we're going through it in the flesh. As it says in 1 Corinthians 10 and 13, there's no temptation that's taking you that's not common unto man. Let's get that real quick. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There had no temptation taken you but such as is common to man. But God our power is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. And the Lord showed that in this account with Job. It says, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Right, those names, all right, calling upon the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, all right, prayer, fasting, all right, supplications unto our Lord. So let's go back. This is back in Job chapter 2, verse 6. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. Right? And like Apostle Paul went into the let me get it real quick. Buffett. Bear with me. This is 2 Corinthians 12 and 7. And lest I should be exalted above measures through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. So the Lord uses Satan ultimately to try us, man. All right, to try and sift us. But if we're the elect, we can't be sifted, man. Okay, like the Lord said to Peter, Satan desired to sift you as wheat. But if we're that number, man, Satan's not gonna be able to take us out of this truth, man. It's all a test. Okay, we're on that solid ground. That's why you have to pray constantly, fast, that you are to be at that number, because like we say, we're the hopeful elect, man. All right, so we're praying that we're of that number, man. But we know that if we are of that number, ultimately, all right, it's a win-win situation for us. Okay, and this account shows just that. Job 2 and 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot onto his crown. And that's what Apostle Paul was going into. All right, that thorn in the flesh. All right, we're all facing different ailments. All right, thorns in the flesh. Okay, weaknesses, battling on a daily. But we got to keep in mind that we're suffering for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, so it's a joy. Just like Yahushua said, my strength is made perfect in weakness, man. All right? Now, we don't have a license to sin. You're not just going to be willingly going off, okay? But you got to consider it a joy to be calling upon those names, man, and battling and fighting whatever you're going through in the name of the Lord, man. You're not fighting it as somebody in the world, all right, with a worldly solution. We got those names that we're calling upon. Verse 8, and he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. You see? So Satan was even using a woman, man. All right? To play on Job's top. All right? Because when you're going through it, all right, Satan will even use your woman, man. Come at you and tell you something, well, man, look how low you are. Look, you going through it, man. You still believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua? And you got to believe, man. Verse 10, but he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God our power, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. You see, so, yeah, the Lord was even speaking through Job. All right, Job was a righteous man, so the Spirit of the Lord was on him to say that. All right, shall we receive good in the hand of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and not evil, man? All right, so that's what we're receiving on the side, ultimately to be made proper judges. It's the word labor on Edamai Online. It says labor, a task, a project, later exertion of the body, trouble, difficulty, hardship, toil, work, exertion, task, tribulation, suffering, exertion, hardship, pain, fatigue, a work, a product of labor. All right, to totter under a burden. All right, and the Lord said he's not unrighteous to forget your labor and love which you minister and do minister. This is Hebrews 6 and 10. For God our power is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love which he have showed towards his name. You see? Just like Job. Job was showing his labor, his suffering towards the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. He said, should we receive good and not evil from the Lord? And that's even us to this day in that mindset. Should we receive good from the Lord and not evil? So the Lord is purifying us through the fire, but it's through trial and error, man. All right? That fiery trial, which is to try you, I end out on that. It says, and that ye administer to the saints and do minister. Right? That fiery trial, which is purifying us. This is 1 Peter 4:12. Beloved, thou wilt die in the house of David, thinking not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice in as much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy, man. All right? So you got to rejoice at the suffering of the Lord, man. It's a joy. It's a joy to suffer for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. All right? Remember Job. Lord willing, this quick hit was edifying. I'm going to give infinite honors and praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings until next time. Kwam Yashala. Mighty Shalom.